Hey everybody, it's Tim Hinton, the Beast of the Marching Arts. Happy New Year. Hope your new school year and work year and winter season is all really getting off to a great rolling start here in January. So, a lot of stuff going on. I'm here to talk about the podcasts that are out this week about gender roles in the marching arts. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a few things. One, I get on a plane tomorrow and I'm flying to Connecticut. Yes, for some reason I'm leaving nice, warm Florida and headed to the really cold north of Connecticut. But why am I doing that? I am going to be recording some educational videos with the good folks up at Style Plus. And we're going to be, they're asking me to host as the host of the Marching Roundtable and help create educational videos. Really excited to do that. So thank you to everybody up at Style Plus for having me up there. Looking forward to a really fun weekend, and you'll be seeing that content a little bit later on in a few months, I guess, sometime in the future, not too far away. How was your holiday? You want to know what I did for my holiday? Well, I did a lot of the holiday stuff. I saw my family. I ate bad food and lots of pumpkin pie and all that stuff. But I really spent my holiday with Wayne Markworth. What does that mean? No, I wasn't at Wayne Markworth's house for Christmas, but Wayne and I had spent the fall recording videos and putting together the online version of his marching methods course, the Dynamic Marching Band. So that's going to be coming out at the end of January. And I really spent my month of December sort of with Wayne because I was editing videos of him and I discussing all the course content. Unbelievably valuable stuff. So watch for that. There'll be more information about that. But there are lots of college students that don't have access to a marching methods course, and they're going to go out there and be band directors and have to run a marching band. It's terrifying to me that they wouldn't have that. So we're going to create an online version of the course that Wayne teaches from his book, The Dynamic Marching Band. So watch for that. Now let's talk about this week's podcast. I have to tell you that these two podcast discussions that are out this week, the one on Monday called Gender Roles in the Marching Arts, and the one that came out today called How Can We Best Support Our Transgender and Non-Binary Students? I got to tell you that these are two of my favorite podcasts. I mean, I've recorded over 850 podcasts at this point. I've talked to so many wonderful guests, but these were special. And so I want to make sure you know, and if you know anybody that is an educator, runs any sort of group as an instructor, they need to watch these conversations. I hope that you will let them know about them. Help me share this video, share links to the podcasts. On Monday, we talked with 3 students who were marchers, who were either transgender or not traditional gender roles as far as the way they define themselves. And the basic idea there is we need to respect those students. As adults, we need to ask them, what do you need to feel like you belong and you're respected and you're comfortable? And then we need to make them feel safe. And that's up to us as the adults to take care of that. So the second conversation that's out today, so impressed, you would not believe the group of people that we got together. So one was a transgender activist that I know here in Orlando who's done great work for equality and equal treatment for everyone and acceptance and tolerance and all those things. Then there's also a man who was an educator for 29 years, a color guard instructor and designer, but also has spent 25 years teaching and doing speeches on inclusion, diversity in the workplace, that kind of thing. That was really valuable. There's also a college professor who has her doctorate about women's studies and gender roles and things like that. She was wonderful. And then also a school administrator and color guard instructor. So this panel is like a dream panel. You need to hear this conversation. I mean, there were times I was in tears. There were times I was really moved. It's an important conversation. So we need to know, we have these students standing in front of us. In every one of our bands now, there is a student who doesn't fit into traditional gender roles or the way that they describe themselves or the way they want to be treated or whatever's going on in their lives. We have to treat them with respect. We have to make them feel safe. That's why these conversations are important. If you're watching this right now, thank you so much. Please help me get the word out about these podcasts. Gender roles with the 3 students on Monday, and the one today with 4 adults, educators, instructors, really smart people talking about what is our job as adults. How do we deal with these students? There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things people don't understand. There's a lot of people right now trying to make us afraid of each other for their own benefit, trying to divide us and keep us scared of it. Don't be scared, okay? The idea is don't be afraid. These are just normal people like you and I who need to be taken care of. There are a lot of people doing great work about this already. On the podcast on Monday, if you listen to it, I hope you will, Kane is one of the students. He's a transgender young man, and he talked about how he went to apply an audition for a drum corps this fall. And that corps had on their application questions about gender identity, what pronouns do you use, and he was able to mark down that he was a young transgender man. And then they followed up with him and asked him, what do you need from us to be okay? Do you need anything special at the next camp? How can we help you? I got to tell you, this meant the world to this young man. It meant everything to him. And he said, this made me want to be a part of that group even more than I already did because he was auditioning. So we need to treat these students with respect. So that's what's going on this week. The reason is I released these this week. Not only did I think it was a really vital topic that everybody's talking about and that's important for people to understand and know about, but right now the DCI meetings are going on, and hopefully it's been my understanding that this is one of the topics they're going to be talking about. We all have to address students and gender identity and gender roles and non-binary students and transgender students. We have these students in our populations, and you need to know what to do. And you don't want to insult them, and you don't want to make everybody afraid of them. You don't want to ostracize them. You want everybody to feel comfortable and accepted. And here's the thing. You know your students, every single one of them, is going to perform better if you have created an environment where everyone is accepted and everyone is comfortable and everyone is taken care of. Even if you just want to selfishly think of it as how can I get a better performance from my students, that's one way. And of course, the reason we all do this is because we want the students to feel loved and accepted and comfortable and safe, and we want to help them grow into great young people. So if you're watching this, please share this or let people know about these podcasts. Really important. And by the way, I should say, probably shouldn't go a little bit off topic here, but I do want to say that one of the huge discussions going into the DCI meetings that are happening right now this weekend is woodwinds and drum corps. And I have to tell you, I'm in the camp that I think each of our marching activities benefits us all by having its own identity. So I don't want to see summer DCI turn into more marching band. I think it's got its own unique identity that I really value as a brass activity. And so that's the camp I fall into, is we have lots of opportunities to include woodwinds in our marching groups and all the rest of the year. But in the summer, drum corps has been for all these years a brass activity. And that's where I fall. Okay. There's tons and tons and tons of ways to be creative and create the show you want and create great, exciting experiences with the instrumentation that we have right now. I don't think it's going to pass, but that's where I fall. So let me know, comment if you're watching this. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of people feel like, why not let them include them? Let's have more creativity, whatever. Let's have those students get involved. But I do think for me, there's real value in that activity having its own identity, its own sort of instrumentation. Some limitations are good as a designer. When I'm designing and working and creating shows, actually it's helpful to me to have some limitations. This band has terrible trumpets. Okay, I have to figure out how to write for that, stage for that, help those students be successful, but not feature them, et cetera, et cetera. There are limitations in every group we have. Nobody, except for very, very few groups, have like whoever they want, doing whatever they want, that can do anything they want. The rest of us all have limitations. Even the very top Bands of America bands, those directors will tell you, oh yeah, this year, this section was weaker, or for whatever reason, my color guard had a lot of young people, whatever. We all have to deal with these limitations. So that's where I fall down on all this. Thank you guys for commenting. If you have watched this, please share it. Again, I'm really, really passionate about the two podcasts that are out right now about gender roles. This is critical for our young people to feel accepted and respected, and for us to know, how do I do this? I went into some of these conversations not even sure what some of the terms meant. So I learned a lot, and I was sort of paying attention. So I think there are a lot of people out there who don't know, who are confused, who are worried, whatever. So gender roles, we have these students in front of us. Please help me get the word out and let everybody know about the podcasts throughout this week. I'm super proud of them. Please take the time. You will not regret it. Both the conversations are incredibly meaningful and moving. And I guess there's been a handful of times when I've recorded podcasts and I've been sitting there and I muted myself and I was crying. And that's what happened with the one that's out today. So I hope you'll listen. Thanks everybody for watching this. Thanks for your support. So excited about what's going on with the podcast and with marching arts education. And hey, next week, the first WGI Rewatch podcasts come out. Northern Lights, Father Ryan, both great shows. Watch for those. Thanks.